What's up, everyone? How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about hunter anxiety. I've seen a lot of people in English 1 or just in the IDV chats talking about how they have a lot of hunter anxiety and how they want to play hunter but they're just too nervous to. And I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to and something that a lot of people have experienced before. So in this video, I kind of want to talk about what hunter anxiety is and how to potentially overcome it so you can enjoy playing hunter. So first, let's talk about what hunter anxiety actually is. And it's pretty easy to describe, actually, since I think honestly a lot of people have experienced it even without really knowing. So hunter anxiety it's pretty self-explanatory, but it literally is just being anxious to play hunter or feeling scared of playing hunter, so you just only play survivor. And this is something that even I have experienced before, but it's very possible to overcome if you know how to. So as with most things, the first way to overcome it is to actually identify what's causing it. You could be experiencing hunter anxiety for a couple different reasons, depending on just what makes you more anxious. So for example, you could be afraid of losing. You could be afraid of being embarrassed. It could be because you don't know how to play hunter or you don't have a hunter that you enjoy playing. Or it could even be because you're afraid of the toxicity of other players, or more specifically survivors. And of course, these reasons are all very valid and they would make anybody nervous to play hunter if you're overthinking it. So take a second to really think about the reasons why you don't like playing hunter or the reasons why you're scared to play hunter, and we can work from there to then help the anxiety and make it easier to play hunter. And of course, I'll give some tips on how to overcome the anxiety depending on what you're most anxious about. So first, as a general tip when it comes to this, I think the best way to overcome hunter anxiety is just to get familiar with playing hunter. But the thing is, you're not going to want to do that if you don't have a hunter that you enjoy playing. So you should think about play styles that you really enjoy, such as map pressure hunters, camping hunters, good early game or fast-paced hunters, things like that, like different types of hunters that you enjoy or which playstyle appeals to you the most. And then find a hunter that you like playing the most based off of your favorite playstyle. So for example, if your favorite playstyle is map pressure hunters, then you might want to play something like Dream Witch or Nightmare or even like Qist, or there's a lot. So go do your own research on which ones you like the most. For me, I personally really love Nightmare's playstyle the most. I think he's very fun to play and I genuinely enjoy him and he makes me like playing hunter. And also one thing that you could take into account when picking your hunter, your new main, is their skill ceiling and also the amount of investment that they take to learn. So for example, I mentioned map pressure hunters, but every map pressure hunter is actually very different. There are some map pressure hunters like Dream Witch that take high investment and also have a very high skill ceiling. And there are hunters like Nightmare that don't take much investment to learn how to play and do not have a very high skill ceiling but are still very simple and fun to play. So no matter what your favorite playstyle is, I think there will definitely be a hunter for you that you will like playing. And on this topic, I don't really want you to look at tier lists or competitive gameplay tier lists, things like that, because they'll just say that Hellember's ass. If you want to play Hellember, play Hellember. You know what I mean? Don't focus too much on the meta hunters or the best hunters or the worst hunters. Just play the hunters that you enjoy playing, because at the end of the day, this is a guide to help you get over hunter anxiety, not a guide to help you become the next Sprinter. And like I said, the first step to overcoming hunter anxiety is to find a hunter that you like playing and play that hunter, even if it's fucking Hellember. The more you enjoy the hunter, the more likely you are to continue playing hunter. Okay, now that we've kind of gotten that out of the way, we can continue with other tips on how to improve your hunter anxiety. So a lot of you may be feeling anxious because you're afraid of losing your matches, and that's a very valid reason. If you're afraid of losing your matches, the next thing that you should do after you find a hunter that you like playing is to practice your hunter mechanics. And I don't mean practice the individual hunter mechanics, I mean practice your fundamentals as hunter. Practice improving your game sense and knowing when to do what or how to do what. Practice your mind gaming abilities and things of that nature. You can do this, and you can also learn more about Hunter by watching peak tier gameplay or by watching tournament gameplay, which I actually recommend. You should be always trying to learn from the experts. So if you want to learn Hunter and you want to improve as Hunter, but you've never actually sat and watched an IDV tournament, I would recommend you do that because you'll definitely learn a lot. And of course, the next best thing besides watching the pros play is just to play yourself. A lot of these abilities genuinely do just come with practice and building habit. So the more you practice and play, the more you'll build these habits and the more you'll improve. However, it really must be said that this progress is not going to happen overnight no matter what. It may take literally weeks or months to actually have a noticeable difference in your Hunter gameplay and your game sense levels. So that's just something to note. Don't let yourself get so overwhelmed or so stressed or feel like you have to improve by a certain deadline, because that's just not true. You have all the time in the world to gradually improve your skill. So don't be too hard on yourself if you find yourself losing matches or just getting frustrated that you're not improving at the rate that you want to. Because the more you let yourself get stressed, the more you'll burn out and you'll stop enjoying playing Hunter. And the whole point of this is to enjoy playing Hunter. So if you're getting yourself all worked up over losses, then you'll eventually just stop wanting to play altogether, which is not good. So give yourself a little grace, give yourself some time to decompress, and remember that IDV is just a game. Even if you genuinely have a very fucking horrible match where you just get absolutely worked the whole time, it really does not matter, because you most likely won't remember that match in the next month. And if you do remember that match, it is not going to get you as worked up as it will in the moment. So just remember that wins and losses and ties are not the end of the world. And as you're building up your Hunter skills, give yourself slack. I also don't really recommend practicing Hunter in rank. This is because the environment is just inherently more stressful and the losses will feel a lot worse. I recommend finding a Hunter that you like and then practicing that Hunter a lot in quick match. Once you're mechanically comfortable with the Hunter and with, Hunter in general, then you can start trying in ranked. But I really would not start off in ranked off the bat, because that's just going to stress you out. The same can also be said for Survivor, but this is, a Hunter guide, so. Alright, now we can talk about another big reason, which is toxicity. All of us watching know that toxicity is a major problem in the IDV community, and it has been for literally years. And unfortunately, you as the average everyday player can't really do anything about that, and honestly neither can I. So, since we can't get rid of toxicity, we have to find ways to work around it and to keep enjoying the game regardless. It's sad, but it's true. And one thing that works as a quick band-aid to this problem is just turning off post-match. The post-match chat tends to be where the majority of toxicity in this game happens at. People are upset because someone threw, people are upset because they lost, people are upset because they think that you got lucky, whatever. And so, after the match, they open up the chat and they shit all over you. And it can leave you feeling really fucking bad, honestly. Because even though they're just strangers saying these things to you, it can still take a toll on your ego and make you feel like you just don't want to play anymore. Which is totally valid, and don't let anybody tell you that it isn't. So one way you can get rid of the post-match gremlins is just to turn off post-match chat altogether. You can do this by opening up settings in the top right corner. From there you want to scroll down to social. Scroll until you see block messages settings. Click on that. Swap tabs into channel settings, and from there you can choose to toggle on or off a bunch of different chats. Just toggle off post-match chat and then boom. Even though post-match can be used as a really good tool to give criticisms and advice to people, unfortunately most players just do not use it in that way, so sometimes it's better to not have it. With it toggled off, you can play without fear of people just, making fun of you or saying you're bad or things like that. And also, if you're one of those people who goes in the post-match and makes fun of people, don't do that, man. All it does is hurt this community even more, and it's just not needed at all. However, good criticism is always valid, and there's nothing wrong with giving that to people. It's up to them to take it or leave it. Another major point of contention in this community is just surrounding the hunters that people choose to play. A lot of the time, people will seemingly make fun of you or bully you if you like to play a certain hunter. And to that, I say fuck those people, play whoever you want. Because at the end of the day, you're not playing for other people, you're playing for yourself and your own enjoyment. If you like playing Joseph, play Joseph. Play him loud and proud. If you like to play Wax Artist, play Wax Artist. It's not up to other people to decide who you choose to play, whether they like it or not. So please, play the hunter that you genuinely enjoy playing, and don't let other people's opinions on that hunter affect you. There is literally nothing wrong with enjoying Joseph as a character or enjoying his playstyle or playing him. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with that, no matter how cheesy or no skill people may say that he is. And the same can be said for a multitude of different hunters. If you like playing that hunter, play them. It doesn't matter what other people think. Playing any hunter requires a degree of skill and good game sense, so don't let anybody tell you that you're no skill for picking a hunter. Many survivors in this game tend to be on a high horse and they think that, I don't know, survivor's just better than hunter. But that is not an excuse to make fun of any survivors. If you're a hunter main, remember that survivors are the reason you're even able to play this game. Without survivors, you wouldn't be able to play. And the same goes for survivors. Don't hate on hunters, because without hunters, you wouldn't be able to play the game. Both factions equally work together to make this game possible. And there's toxic people on both sides of the spectrum. It's not just survivor or hunter. But anyways, this isn't a lesson on toxicity, but I still feel like it's actually really important to mention because toxicity is very bad in this game and it could definitely turn you off from this game very quickly. Or more specifically, turn you off from playing hunter, because I feel like hunters receive a lot of the toxicity. And this is coming from a survivor main, okay? I have grounds. I have credentials to say this. The last thing I want to kind of bring up is not related to toxicity, but it can have a very similar feeling. And it's actually when playing as hunter, when the survivors kind of bully you, it feels like. Like, say there's a harasser or two on the team, and it's like they notice that you're doing bad, and so they just take it as an opportunity to kind of harass you even more. Or when you get really determined survivors that just will not give up no matter what. And dealing with this can be a very big turnoff for playing hunter. Getting harassed is a very overwhelming experience, and it can kind of just ruin the enjoyment of your match or of playing hunter altogether, which is very understandable because it's not very fun to have two harassers just bullying you the entire match, it seems. But there are also things you can do as hunter to work around this as well, and to not let it affect your gameplay or make you not want to play hunter anymore. So obviously one way you can deal with this is just to learn how to deal with harassers, which is probably the most obvious solution, but it's also one of the hardest solutions. So we're not going to actually focus too much on that. One thing you have to understand is that survivors 9 times out of 10 are gonna harass you if they get the opportunity. Some survivor mains, myself included, just genuinely love to play harasser. It's a very fun role to play, and it feels also very fulfilling when you successfully harass. So just keep that in mind when you're facing harassers. While it may feel like personal bullying, most of the time it isn't. It's just harassers trying to do their job. But sometimes it definitely can feel like overkill, and it can be extremely overwhelming. And I'd say one of the best ways to combat this is just to keep your cool. That too is much easier said than done, but at the end of the day, most of the time it isn't personal, and you'll feel a lot better if you can just stay calm even when you're being harassed. Remember that it's just part of the game, and it can even be a challenge to see how you can deal with it. Try to take every match as a different learning experience for a different thing. If you lose, take notes on what you could have done better and what you will do next time. And if you win, take notes on what you could have done better and what you'll do next time. Being harassed can be really, really frustrating, but it doesn't have to ruin your entire experience. Remember that not every match will be like that, and the more you practice, the better you'll get at dealing with different harassers. And if you find that you struggle the most with a particular harasser, you can go into a custom match with one of your friends or even just a random person and practice against that specific survivor. It can build your tolerance and you'll know what to do next time that you face them. But at the end of the day, you really just have to remember that this is just a game. Even the best hunters in the entire world still lose matches. And that's okay because you can't expect to win every match. Learn to accept the losses, use them as a challenge to improve, and take learning experiences from every single match. At the end of the day, Hunter can be really stressful but really rewarding. Once you learn how to effectively play as Hunter, you'll be having a lot of fun, and I guarantee that you'll probably win most of your matches. It really just takes dedication and hard work to be able to become a good Hunter. Just practice your mechanics and don't give up. And I hope that this video can inspire at least one person to pick up Hunter. The learning curve may be steep, but it's definitely worth the challenge. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I just want to add a quick reminder that we're really close to 100 subscribers, so if this video was helpful at all, it would be really amazing if you could subscribe. Okay, that's enough yapping. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Bye!